angels, and welcome back to Touched by Ty Hair Co. So you're here because you are ready to get into this look. So let's get right into it. Tonight I will be working with my model, my cousin Mia the Vibe, at Mia the Vibe on all social media outlets. We're going to start off by cleaning her face and getting straight into her brows. For her brows tonight, we'll be using the Morphe Brow Definer pencils in the shade Java and Mocha. So I use Java for her outer line and Mocha for her inner line, what was closer to her nose.
I'm trying to get on Prize Picks. That's
What's
how you
that?
play like the up and unders for the games. You know how you bet on the players and all that.
Oh, what you need? I don't have no cards.
You know, I don't need no cards. I don't have a DMV ID.
Okay.
And they can't verify my military ID.
So what you need me to
I
do?
need yours. I'ma just use you, but I'ma use my money and all that.
Well, I'm in the middle of recording content, but it's in my wallet
Oh, all right, cool. Thank you.
downstairs. So for her outer brow, near her brow bone and near the tail end of her brow, I went in with the color Java. And for, y'all have to excuse all this noise in the background. And for the front of her brows, I'm going in with the shade Mocha. So when you have a client that has very thin brows, it's okay to fill it in. It's okay to extend it. Okay, give yourself something to work with. The only time that I would say when it doesn't require a lot of work when dealing with brows is when the client has a naturally thick brow. But when you're dealing with someone like my cousin and the brows are very thin, very minimum, I also have brows that are thin and minimum. Go ahead and extend it. Create something so that you have something to work with. What I didn't see while I was actually doing this is that her brows were quite uneven, and I really wasn't able to fix that until I seen it towards the end. So just be mindful to take a step back, look at your work, while you're working. It's always fixable. Again, makeup is art. I always say that. So there's no right or wrong. The thing with brows, no shade, y'all, brows are the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing that I've had to figure out in learning how to do makeup artistry, because everybody's brows are different. Brows are sisters, they're not twins, so you're never going to get them exactly alike, but you want to get it as close as possible. There are going to be different techniques. Some people like to use a flat brush like myself. Some people like to use a oval concealer brush. You just have to figure out what works for you, okay? And it's okay if some techniques don't work. Just figure out what works for you and go with that. Like I said, we were working with minimum light. I was at her house. So I didn't have as much light as I wanted. And as I'm watching this playback, I'm saying, oh my God, her brows were crooked. But somewhere as I get towards the end, I realized that they were crooked, and I went in and I fixed them as much as possible without messing up the rest of her makeup. Okay, so just take your time and trust your process. That's basically it. Right here, I am lining and defining the bottom of her brow line with the Nika K Full Coverage Concealer in the shade 01. For the top of her brows, to line the top of her brows out, I went in with this RK by Kiss Concealer Cream Contour Palette. And that is the shade I selected to clean up the top of her brows. Using that same Real Perfection flat liner brush. So I got these brushes, Real Perfection. I got those brushes from Amazon. As you will see, some portions of this video are sped up, some are in real time. So as I'm doing her brows, this clip here is in real time because I want you guys to see the technique. And really, your brows and your lids are the longest. They're always going to take the most time because that's where your detail work is done at. As you can see here, I'm just simply trying to even out her brow. I couldn't see what I couldn't see. Again, we didn't have the best lighting. So I was taking a step back, looking, taking a step back and looking. As I'm doing her face work, they were still kind of uneven. But once we get like towards the end, I guess at some point I was noticing that, hey, these aren't even. And I went in and I cleaned them up even more. So just be kind to yourself and trust your process. I'm going in with the NYX Brow Glue serum on her actual brows just to keep them in place. This technique is what keeps your brows lasting a little bit longer. It makes your finish very smooth, okay, with your brows. So you can either use this, you can use a clear lash glue that also works just the same. Moving right along to her lids. So for her lids, I went in with the same concealer that I used to define under her brows, the Nika K Full Coverage Concealer in the shade 01. I just drug that down using my LA Colors blending brush. I buff that out and blend that out very, very smooth. And then I'm going to go in with my RK by Kiss transparent setting powder in the shade, I believe is 01, transparent invisible. And I'm going to set that brow and set that concealer so that it doesn't crease on me. And this is going to be her prep for her eyeshadow. This step is very important. It's always important to set your lids, okay? You want to use some type of invisible or clear setting powder to set your lids, and this helps prevent with any creasing or folding in your eyeshadow look. So originally, I was going to use a eyeliner on her. However, I cannot freehand an eyeliner. So this is a very, very useful hack, ladies and gentlemen. If you cannot freehand an eyeliner like myself or a wing, use some clear tape. And what the clear tape does is it sets a very, very crisp line on the end, and you use that and you just line adjacent to that clear tape and you will get the perfect eyeliner. Now with this look, when I first started, it was my intention to give her a line, a wing. But as I started working, I realized I did not want to do that. I did not want to give her a wing. I did not want it to clash with the rest of her eye look as I was realizing what I was going to do. So I did not wing it in this. However, this is a very good technique to use if you cannot freestyle a wing and you want that wing in your look. You'll see exactly how crisp and clean that line comes out. To start off her eyeshadow look, I'm going in with that chocolate brown color. It's in, oh my God. I'm so sorry, y'all. I live in the city. Them the popos. Ignore them. But anyway, I'm going in with this chocolate brown color. It's in the Juvia's Place Warrior palette. I cannot remember the name, but I will leave it in the description box. And I'm going to use that as her crease shade. I'm going in with a dense blending brush, setting that color directly into her crease. Okay, y'all, my bad. I thought I used the Juvia's Place palette, but I didn't. I used this Morphe palette that I've recently got, and I went in with a chocolate brown shade, and then I went in with this lighter brown shade to use as her transition shade. Now I'm going in using the same palette with this chocolate, with a deeper brown, not chocolate, but a deeper brown. And I'm just going to blend this out even more. Building up this chocolate dark blowout brown shades. I'm using a few brown shades here, identifying them as I point them out. Again, this entire palette name will be in the description box. I can't really see as I'm doing this voiceover what brown I used, but it's in the family. There's 100 browns in this palette, I promise. And it just came out really, really beautifully. So the beauty with makeup artistry is that you want to build, right? So I'm just building the depths of what I want my brown and what I want this beautiful like blended eye look to be. Now for the bottom of her lid, I'm going in with this Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to use that yellow shade and this Real Technique eyeshadow brush to pack that into the center of her lid. And I'm just going to pack that yellow on, continue to build that yellow until it gets vibrant enough for me. Okay, so for her lash look, I'm simply going in with some lashes that I got from the beauty supply store. I went off camera and I put those lashes on, as you can see. Now I'm removing the tape and you're gonna see exactly how crisp this line is. It's beautiful. Again, if you cannot create a freehand eyeliner or wing, this is a good step to use. Okay, this is what I do. um, Moving right along, I'm priming her face with the elf primer, power grip primer. I'm sorry, I absolutely live by this primer. I just love it. I love it. I don't even know if I'll ever use anything else. Like, I'm one of those people, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And this is an amazing primer. For her foundation, I'm going in with the Nika K Full Coverage Foundation in the shade 04 Warm Sand. I'll be using this RK by Kiss foundation application brush. I'm going to buff with I don't know what I use for my buffing brush. I don't know if it was my Real Techniques brush or my Morphe brush. I believe it was my Morphe brush that I used, my Morphe foundation blending brush. And then I also use the Real Techniques um, blending sponge to blend out all of her makeup work. Y'all, everybody knows, like, I'm an economic artist, right? So I'm super old school. So if it's not broke, I'm not fixing it. If it's working, I always am adapting new techniques into my work. I'm very new again to makeup artistry. It has not even been a year for me. So I'm super, super open to learning new things and learning new techniques, right? I do believe that makeup artistry is more about technique than it is about product. This is that Morphe brush I was telling you guys about, the E63. Y'all, I love this brush to blend in the foundation. You don't even need a blending sponge after this. Like, it puts the foundation and presses it into the skin really, really beautifully. But back to what I was initially saying, right? I'm a technique person. So technique over product, right? So I really do believe that your technique is going to get you further than using high-end products. And I say this all the time in my client tutorials because I believe that it's true. Your technique and just learning from your mistakes and building on that. The very first time I did makeup, I did horrible. I never wanted to do it again. So to see and how I have grown, I learned so much from even watching these playbacks and creating content. And it's important to do so that you can see your growth. Product, I want to say, is 30%. Technique is 70. Technique is 70. Like I was saying, this is the Nika K Full Coverage Foundation. This foundation sits. I don't know, the coverage on it is amazing. Okay, that's number one. The coverage on the concealers are amazing. This company makes really, really good products. This is not paid promotion. I buy everything that I use, okay? And just, if you're a new makeup artist and you're looking to build your kit, get you some Nika K products. Get you some Nika K concealer. Get you some Nika K foundation. It is economical. It works. It's going to give you full coverage. It's creamy. The consistency is beautiful. It finishes in matte. It's goated. It is truly goated. It's a really good dupe to NARS, okay? And it's economical. Like, back to that again. Newbies like me, I know you're building your clientele. You're looking for people to work on the same way that I am. Listen, be encouraged. Keep going. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. It's all right. Keep going. You'll get to where you want to be. For her highlight, I'm going in with the same color, the Nika K Full Coverage Concealer in the shade 01. I'm using my LA Colors blending brush to blend that out. I also use my foundation brush in some areas, and you'll see me using that sponge. The sponge is your best friend with blending. The key to using a blending sponge is keeping it damp. You want to damp that blending sponge. Not a microfiber sponge, but a blending sponge. There is a difference, okay? There is a difference. With blending, it's important that you take your time, okay? It is a timely process because you don't want any harsh lines. You want to blend everything out really evenly. So that's important. Now I'm going in with the Full Coverage Concealer by Nika K to establish some depth in her face, to build on some color and some contrast. For the nose, when you're blending out the nose, make sure you're pushing that product into the skin directly where you want it. That's very important for contouring the nose. Moving right along to set her face, I'll be using this LA Girl Pro Face pressed powder in the shade New Beige. I'm going to set all her highlighted areas with that. And for the rest of her face, or the remaining of her face, I'll be going in with the same brand pressed powder in the shade Warm Honey. I'll be using that gold powder brush that you saw. Moving right along to her contour. For her contour, I'll be going in with this RK by Kiss contour palette. I want to say it's in the shade medium dark. I believe it's medium dark. And I'll be using this Morphe not foundation, but this Morphe contour brush. Now, this is where knowing your clientele comes in important, right? Because my cousin does not like a really deep contour. She feels like that makes her face look a little bit too muscular, a little bit too manly, and she doesn't like that. So with bronzing up the face, I'm using a very light hand, circular motions, just to bring that color back into her face. Not so much to contour her, but to definitely bring that color back into her face so that we can build some definition and depth. Same thing, using the same color, using the small smudge brush to create her nose bridge. I'm bringing that contour. This will be giving her that very, very snatched nose appearance. So yeah, I'm using the same palette, same color, just to build up that contour on her nose. AJ? Okay, making sure you back. Make sure you lock that door. Okay, so moving right along to our baking process, I'll be using the Morphe Baking Set Powder in the shade Banana for all of her highlighted areas. So that's under her eye, the center of her nose, right above her forehead, her chin, and right below her cheekbones, I go in with a different shade. I'm sorry. I use the Banana Rich to go right below her cheekbones. So setting and baking is totally different. Setting is just to press that product into the skin, keep it from moving, right? Keep it from transferring, right? So you want to set all your liquids. Baking more so is to define features, to make features pop, to make features more prominent, right? So that's what the baking process does. So I'm going to bake her. So instead of me using the Morphe Translucent Rich, I decided to go in with the Sasha Buttercup in the shade Buttercup. Now, while she's baking, I'm going to go in with this Juvia's Place Blush Palette Volume 1. This is my favorite blush. I absolutely love it. It's very pigmented, so you don't have to go in much. I like to give a popping cheek, a very popping look, a very defined look. That's my style for makeup artistry. So if you do not like that, I might not be the girl for you. A lot of people might look at this blush and feel like it's too much, but I promise you by the end of this look, you're going to be like, yes, ma'am. Now that she is baked for a couple minutes, I'm going to go in with the shade Warm Honey, the same shade that I used to bring color back into her face. And I'm going to do the exact same step, even on her highlighting areas. I'm going to go in with this warm honey and this powder brush. And I'm just going to blend out everything, all the powder, all the blush, blending it all out. You don't want anything sitting on top of the skin. You don't want any harsh lines in the skin. So blending everything out really, really helps with that process. Now, y'all know I absolutely love this bronzer. This is the only like finishing bronzer that I use. It makes your skin look like it's been kissed by diamonds. Okay, this is the Lumi bronzer made by L'Oreal Paris. I absolutely love it. This is in the shade 01. I apply that using this powder brush from Moda. Now, as I was looking at her, I was feeling like, so this was an inspired look. I'm going to insert the clip at the end of the inspiration. Um, I did not have like this teal blue that I saw in the picture, so I had to kind of use what I had, and that's okay, right? This is just my copy of the look that inspired me. Um, so I did have like this beautiful teal green, so I used that. And what I'm doing here, I'm going in with this Real Technique smudge brush, and I'm just smudging out, smoking out her bottom lash line. So as I was looking at it, I felt like it was a little bland. My inspiration pick did not have this in it, but I just wanted to make it mine. I wanted to put out work that I was comfortable with. So I went on in with this Perfusion Cosmetic palette in the shade Murray Gold, and I went in with this yellow pressed glitter, and I added that to the top of her yellow shade just to give her eyes a beautiful, beautiful pop. So, and this look just really started to come together beautifully. I'm going in with some black mascara just to extend that bottom lash line. Moving right along to her lips. For her lips, I am going in with this lip liner by Morphe in the shade Richie. And I am using this NYX Liquid Suede matte lip gloss in the shade Club Hopper. Y'all, this lip gloss is everything. I do not think that y'all understand. When I say everything, I mean everything. The finish on this lip gloss, the coverage that it gave the lips, and according to, my client, it didn't move. It does not move. Like, it's beautiful. Here I could see where I went over the line slightly, so I just decided I'm gonna go back in with a Q-tip and just clean that up, because you do want to have a clean lip. To set her face, I went in with this Kiss Cosmetics Pro Touch Matte Finishing Setting Spray. For her highlight, I'm going to go in with this Universal palette that I got from a makeup convention, and I'm using that light gold shade to highlight her. Y'all get into this look. It's just coming together so beautifully. It's gorge. I absolutely love this look. Setting the face again. Get into this finished product. My little cousin is so gorgeous. She's so beautiful. And I just appreciate her so much for being my muse and getting into it. Okay? I mean, it's just, yeah, it's giving. This is the finished look. We went on and we didn't let this beautiful makeup and her beautiful clothes go to waste. We went on, we created some content, took some photos, and this is the finished result. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on all social media outlets at TouchedByTyHairCo on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See you next time. Bye.